Or we're joined by Dan Perry, who spent close to a decade as the Jerusalem bureau chief for the Associated Press, among other illustrious titles working in the Middle East. Thanks for being here again. No ceasefire. So is Israel in a place where they have absolutely nothing to lose?
It depends on how they pursue the war against Hamas. They clearly fear they have a lot to lose by going in there guns blazing completely and trying to take it over in one quick go, as many had expected on October 7th. They're acting more carefully. They're doing it in piecemeal fashion. They clearly want to eventually enter Gaza in a situation where the defenses are degraded and the enemy's far weakened. That suggests they think they do have something to lose, as in thousands of soldiers, if they acted otherwise. But I can clearly confirm from the Israeli side that there is consensus pretty much in the country backing the government and the army on the idea that after what happened on October 7th, which was genuinely a global historic massacre, Hamas control of Gaza can no longer be tolerated.
A ceasefire is what a lot of people, considering the plight of Palestinians in Gaza, they're demanding. But the riots and protests that many have deemed pro-Palestinian, are they better named anti-Israeli and anti-Jew protests?
I frankly don't know what to make of them. I understand the frustration about the damage to civilians in Gaza. I would hope that Israel really is doing, as they say, everything possible to prevent it. And I think there is some truth to the argument that a lot of it is because Hamas is using the Palestinian civilian population in Gaza as human shields and refusing to let them get out. Nonetheless, it's clearly a heartbreaking and terrible situation. As for the protests in the West, honestly, I think a lot of the protesters I've seen are the useful idiots of the global jihadi movement. If you are pro-Palestinian, if you want the Palestinians to have a state, if you want oppression of the Palestinians to end, and all of that is totally legitimate, and I share it myself, then you need to be against Hamas, not for Hamas. Hamas's raison d'etre since the beginning, 30-some years ago, was to prevent a partition of Palestine. Their view is to eradicate Israel and replace it, and not with a Palestinian state, but with an Islamic theocracy that will be part of the global jihadist movement. And to see progressives in the US and on campuses actually supporting this nihilistic terrorist group, thinking that's what being pro-Palestinian is a sad thing to behold. And I honestly don't know their motivation. I think some of it is anti-Semitism and a lot of it is ignorance.
I mean, I would say a lot of it is uneducation or a lack of education. We keep hearing there's a difference between supporting Palestinians and supporting the terrorists. But was Hamas voted in by the Palestinian people? Was it a takeover? And do most Palestinians actually support Hamas?
Hamas did win a legislative election in the West Bank and Gaza in 2006. That was not for the executive. They were never voted in as the government in Gaza or in the West Bank. They took over the Gaza Strip by force of arms, kicking out the Palestinian Authority, throwing its officials from rooftops, and essentially creating a garrison state that then began provoking a far stronger enemy with the rockets, leading to periodic mini-wars, and now leading to what is, I believe, a war to the finish. It seems they want it. They're nihilistic and they're jihadistic, but not stupid. They obviously wanted to draw Israel into a full-blown war with them, potentially giving up their control of Gaza in exchange for what they hope will be chaos to engulf the entire region. Now, what do the Palestinians actually think? I would say only about a quarter, maybe, support this jihadist worldview. One poll I saw from earlier this month after the massacre showed that when asked the clear binary question, do you want Hamas out of power in Gaza and replaced by the Palestinian Authority, 70% said yes. And remember, that's in a situation where they're answering from a police state where many of them would fear actually speaking out against Hamas. And my guess is, based on my own knowledge of the territory and conversations with friends in the territory, that the real number is far higher. So to make a clear, unequivocal statement, being pro-Palestine is not only not the same thing as being pro-Hamas. If you are pro-Palestine and you are not stupid or insane, you must be anti-Hamas.
Dan Perry, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.